there's an old angry video game nerd video. And for those who don't know who AVGN is, he's a YouTuber who makes videos, reviews. He reviews like old games from like the Nintendo era and 8-bit era. And there's a video where he reviewed Ninja Gaiden, and he had a friend play the ninja, and one of the lines, one of the out of the many funny lines his friend said is like he was like Ninja Gaiden is a game without a mother. That shit sent me like cracking up. Like it was funny as hell because it was so random. But now, as the years went by, when I listen to that video, I think of what he said and I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense, right? Like, as if someone was born without a mother, they were like incomplete. You're not full of love, or you're partially full of love. So it's like it's almost like you're heartless because you're motherless. They're what's the word, synonymous? They're both pretty much used interchangeably, or can be used interchangeably. So why am I getting all deep and philosophical about a fucking YouTube video from a guy dressed as a ninja? Because that's what Tarkov is. Tarkov is a game without a mother, and I think fucking Russians will agree with me because they're devious people who made this game so goddamn good and enjoyable, and it's like digital crack, but at the same time I'm dying all the time. How can I Who wants to play a game where you die all the time but yet fully enjoy it? I do, me, and so do many other Tarkov players. Now, you already know I'm a PvE guy, so I had to jump at the chance that Tarkov finally got a PvE mode that's affordable. Um, I don't know the controversies surrounding, BSG, the Battle State Games, and I believe his name's Nikita. I know whenever I hop on the forums, or even back then before I bought the game, obviously I purchased the game recently for me and a friend, and I have not stopped playing it since. I've been playing it every day since I've bought it, and it's been roughly about a week. So it feels like I feel like every time I go online and I look up some sort of a question relating to Tarkov, there's always somebody talking about Nikita like if they know him. Well, Nikita said that he's gonna do this, and Nikita said he's gonna do that, and I'm just like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. A lot of it is controversial. Obviously for me, who people who just wanted to enjoy the game for so long finally got the chance to. I had to pay like $80 after taxes, but I'm gonna be honest with you. This game's so good, I would have gave him 100. Don't tell him that though. But it's so great. I it's not easy. Of course, sky is blue, water is wet, which that actually does say that in Tarkov, and one of the pillars it says water is wet. I guess that's a internet thing. Whatever. Point is, yeah, me saying Tarkov is hard is me pointing out the most painfully obvious thing, right? Like, there's nothing I can say about this game that hasn't been said already by dozens, if not thousands, of YouTubers already. Let's go with thousands. But it's a weird loop of addiction. It's almost like gambling, right? When you gamble, the average person loses most of the time because the odds are against you, right? So if you hit that slot machine 10 times a day, right? I'm just saying the number 10 for the sake of simplicity. You're gonna lose like 8 times, maybe seven. The vast majority of the time you're gonna lose, but still, when you hit, it feels so good, and that's what keeps you coming back, right? Like drugs. That's what Tarkov is to me. It's like I'm losing the vast majority of the time. I'm missing an action. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I'm getting domed from a scav from across the map with an AK, which frustrating because I had great gear. Um, I don't know who looks like. I don't know what a PMC is. I don't know what a scav looks like. Sometimes the scav kills PMCs and then they remove their gear and now the scabs look like PMCs, so you can shoot a scab and lose scab. Everything's against you, man. Like gambling, like there's so many variables that go on to playing this game, right? You just can't jump in, grab a gun and shoot. You can theoretically, but like what about the gun condition? Do you have it on automatic? You know what I mean? Like do you have armor? Are you a scav? Are you a PMC? Do you know the map? Like it is not pick up and play. This is the opposite of pick up and play. It's like study the fuck out of it, then play. But still, I can't say any more good things about the damn game, man. It's just it's I've been searching for a game that's similar to this because I wasn't gonna pay $250 for that. What was it? The Unheard Edition, I believe that was the name. I'm not sure, but that's the only way you could have accessed the PVE mode for quite a while now by buying that really ridiculously priced software. But finally, they released it, and it's like $20 as an add-on. Like I said, I paid $80, no problem whatsoever. I actually bought one for a friend also, so I ended up paying twice the amount, which I don't mind because she's enjoying the hell out of it too. You know, so I find myself playing this game and so many questions, man. So many questions. Like, first of all, it's no, obviously it's not a perfect game. Once again, nothing is perfect, and you can't diminish. You can diminish anything, and I've said this before. You can diminish the quality of anything by saying it's not perfect. Like literally anything, religion, politics, people. Somebody can be fantastic to you, but you can go, yeah, he's great to me and all, but he's not perfect. You know what I mean? Like that's such a cheap way to reduce something. So I try to avoid that. I don't do a good job at it, but I try. And uh, the, let's talk about the game itself, right? Like visually, graphically beautiful, right? I'm running at like 60 frames. I use VSync because I don't play competitively, and I put everything on high. And yeah, you have to connect the servers, and the servers are wonky sometimes. Just recently, I lost so much of my gear to the game freezing up, and it turns out that it had some sort of an issue with Discord. I believe the overlay was causing an interference with the Tarkov game, which was freezing it. I can still hear the audio, but I can't see what my person is doing. So I had to make my friend shoot me in the face and just get it over with because I didn't know what it was. I was just there for 10 minutes, just trying to everything, clearing the cache. And eventually I just said, fuck it, shoot me in the face. She looted me, of course. And then bang, I went online and turned off my Discord, hopped on just the Steam chat, and it worked perfectly fine. So but like I said earlier, there's so many questions about this game, so many things that I want to tackle. I probably won't be able to tackle them all, or maybe I would. I do talk a lot, but like graphically, it looks beautiful. I have no problem with it. Besides the hitching and the lagging, and I don't believe that comes from my end. I am pretty sure that comes from lots of people playing a game at once. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it seems like. Gunplay is second to none. Like someone online, and I'm going to reference a lot of people online because they're trustworthy and reliable news sources, random strangers on the internet. So these people, these people, you people, so internet people, I remember reading something online where one of them said that, God damn it, I forgot what I was going to say. There's so much to say. I feel like my brain is in just a traffic jam right now. Um, Damn it. What was I going to say? It's kind of hard to focus. Sorry, because like I said, you've got the on the right hand side of. I'm like my computer is situated near the window, and then near the windows, the people just going insane with those fucking lawnmowers, man. Um, I totally forgot what to do saying online, but I will say that from what I hear, this is the first implementation of PVE. So, and the PVE is not perfect, man. There's lots of times where I felt like I died, and it kind of wasn't my fault. It felt unfair. Sometimes most of the time, the vast majority of the time, scabs can see you from across the fucking map and can shoot at you. And lots of times they're not audible. And I understand that, like from what I hear, some of them, like I noticed one thing: if I'm ratting, as you internet people call it, which is another thing I wanted to talk about, playing styles, right? But I supposedly the AI is being worked on so they can ambush you. So like for example, if an AI, I noticed that if an AI is near me and we're in the same room and I'm making noise, he would stop dead silent while I'm making a noise. So now we're both stopped, right? And no, none of us is making noise, but I know he's in here and he knows I'm in there. And I'm like, that's kind of cool, right? But it takes about like maybe a good minute and a half before he moves. But he always moves, but you have to sit there and play the patient game. But if you move, he's gonna ambush you, which I think is really cool. That's what I believe that's kind of what a player would do, and they added that to an AI, which is kind of impressive. It's not perfect, And I know I just finished saying a little while ago that's how you diminish things, but that's not what I meant. I didn't mean it's not perfect in that sense. I meant like the system itself is. I can't say like, oh, it works all the time. Like sometimes it's done kind of weird because there's no auto cue, no visible audio, and I really need that. People really need that when you play games like Tarkov, since there's no indicators. You can't point at them and then a magical little arrow just points over their head and you know their constant location. Like Wildlands, which I'm finishing up finally after over 2 months of playing it every single night, with just about every single night for about 2, 3 hours. We're finally finishing the entire map, collected all of the King Slayers. We put surgical work into this game. It felt like playing Anti-Stasi in Arma 3, but just the Ubisoft version of Anti-Stasi, which, believe it or not, is fun. If you don't really pay attention to the story is all convoluted, but overall, Wildlands, man, it checks out. I dropped over like 100 hours on it so far. Actually, probably more than that. Fucking great game. I don't care what anyone says, but just make sure you put that on extreme because that's what we're playing on. We turned off the mini map, we put it on extreme. It feels a lot more challenging and just more fun, in my opinion. I can't imagine playing this game on medium, like on normal, or like I feel like that it'll just be super easy. That's my opinion. Maybe it's more fun that way. I don't know. But so there's lots of implementations that are going to be, because this is basically Tarkov is an MMO, so there's going to be implementations that are going to be added in the future with many things, but especially AI behavior, which I'm willing to, not willing, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen because I want to see fair AI. Like I haven't. This is my first time playing Tarkov. Just like I said, it's not even been a week, and the game's been out for 7 years. So for those have been playing for many years, they've seen all sorts of improvements and also regressions of AI and loot pools and whatever the case may be. Stage maps. From what I hear, the factory map is really dark now. Some people are upset about that. It is dark, I will say that, but to me, it doesn't bother me too much, except when like the sun is rising and the glare is hitting my computer screen. It drives me nuts, which will be pretty soon, like usually around like 4 or 5. So that's one of the things. Like the AI behavior is awesome, but it's also very frustrating because sometimes it doesn't feel fair. You're like, how the fuck can you see me from that far and know that I'm a PMC, or I'm dressed as a scav. As a matter of fact, the gear that I'm wearing now as a PMC was ripped from a scav. I'm literally wearing everything: the gun, the armor, the fucking little, what is that? The Tashanka hat and shit. Like there's no way I look like a PMC, but that scav, he knows I'm a PMC and domes me with an AK from across the map. I can just hear everyone collectively saying right now, like, "Welcome to Tarkov, Danny." Well, I'm staying. All right, I don't care. It's frustrating, but this game's too good to let go. But this is what I wanted when I bought Gray Zone Warfare. Not a knock to that game. When I bought Incursion Red River, when I bought Ghost Ground Branch, like when I bought Arma, like uh, I wanted like this hardcore but fair. Right now, you can sit here and you can say, and this is what I wanted to talk about earlier. You can say, oh well, life is not fair, so these games shouldn't be. You should be outnumbered. You should be. And of course, you've got a lot of macho dudes on YouTube. They're just like, scabs are easy. PvE mode is for virgin pussies. And these guys, a lot of times they mean it, right? A lot of times, sometimes they don't. They like to troll people because they want to seem like the alpha, because the alpha of video games. Which, you know how ridiculous that sounds. Say it out loud. I'm the alpha of video games. That sounds dumb. But anyways, but there's lots of people who can back that shit up. I've seen YouTube videos of dudes playing this game like it's fucking Call of Duty. They're running in the middle of the map and they're shooting everything that walks. I'm like, holy shit, you're not scared, bro? I kill a scav, I'm like backing up, and yeah, I know I'm a new player, but I don't think I'll ever play like that. Just out in the open shooting. But it is cool, like my friend said earlier when we finished the session. She was like, it's cool that you can play this game however you want. And I was like, that is cool. But it also brought up the question, what is the proper way to play this game? What is the way that the developers intended to play this game? From what I see, and also considering that this game was modeled after like real life warfare and tactics and stuff, running and gunning is not the way you're supposed to do it. That's just that's the truth, right? You can play it like that, and kudos to you if you do, because like I said, I've seen several videos of people just killing it, man. They're doing they're blowing my mind. Like the way they're playing this shit, doming people and running left and right, and ducking fire, and they know where to. And that's another thing, map knowledge, of course, since they're longtime players, they've gotten this good, and they also just know the maps like the back of their hand, so that helps out a lot. But they're fearless, and I almost envy them. I'm like, I'm scared all the time playing this game. I'm always on high alert. But it's great. I'm losing. I suck at it, but goddamn, I'm having so much fun. I just played a session before I started recording this. So, anyways, I was just thinking, like, what is the proper way to play this? And ratting, as you guys say, sticking close to the walls, going underground, collecting loot off the bodies that someone else killed. Like, I really believe that is the way you're supposed to play this game. It's like a post-apocalyptic survival game, and if you are a smart guy, you're not. First of all, in real life, let's just pretend apocalypse happened. Would you be running out in the open, doming people with an AK? No, you would not. You would be cautious. You would pick your fights. You wouldn't just kill anything that walks. And yeah, I understand this is a video game, and at the end of the day, even though it is a hardcore video game that's like a simulator, like an apocalypse simulator, essentially, it is still a video game, and there has to be gamey mechanics to it, right? Hence the MMO-ness to it, and also, the little containers that, you can put stuff in and not lose. Of course, that doesn't happen in real life, but whatever. Point is, it's modeled after real life, but it does have to still be a video game, so I understand that, but I just don't feel like that's the way you're supposed to play. I'm not saying that's the way you shouldn't play. You should play however the fuck you want. But, to run around and shoot people. And then there's people who do that and then shame other people. Like, what are you doing playing PvE mode? Like, scavs are too easy. I remember one of my other coworkers, he had bought this game, Tarkov, because he heard me and another friend were playing it. And I was like, I don't know if you'll like this game, bro. Because I mean, I didn't tell him this, but like I was telling my other friend this. I'm like, this is not like a fast pace. He likes like Call of Duty and like Overwatch, and he likes games where it's like instant gratification, like quick pulse games. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But Tarkov is not that. You can play it that way, but you have to get good. You have to put in time before you can do shit like that. I doubt you can just pick up the game and do that. With a shotgun that you get from a scav. You always get a fucking shotgun from a scav. So good luck. But anyways, point is, he played like 2 sessions and then never played it again after dropping like $80 on it. And I was just like, I asked him, he was just like, that's too slow for me, man. I'm like, I understand, I get it, but you know, like, he should probably have done his homework first. He probably saw some of his favorite YouTubers play it you know, like it's COD. But that's one of the things, like how you play this game. I genuinely believe you're supposed to rat. You're supposed to be cautious. You're supposed to take loot from the bodies of the fallen and stay out of the open and hug the walls. I really believe that is the way you're supposed to play. And I do think there is some toxicity, some of that macho toxicity of like, you guys are pussies, you guys don't play the way I do. There's a lot of that in Tarkov, and I see it. But then, like I said, on the other end, I've also seen players who can back that shit up. They're like, yeah, I can say it, but guess what? Look at my videos. I'm murdering shit. Maybe they're editing stuff. I don't know. The magic of the internet, right? Who knows? But from what I see, it looks pretty legit, and man, they can crack. Like they're good. So whatever. But it's cool that you can play this game the way you want. Um, it's dope that it's also like an MMO, which is weird, right? Because it's a hard. It's like if Arma 3 was an MMO, right? Like, which it's not, because there's no real progression aside from like anti-Stasi or like liberation and stuff like that, where you're taking over maps. But there is no character development. No, you can pretty much start with any gun you want. But it would be cool if Arma was an MMO. Actually, that would be cool. But I do like the constant progression in Tarkov, right? Like, even if you die within the first 3 minutes, right, but you looted a few things, you still get credit for that. Your character is still, even if you ran around a little bit, you increase your endurance and all that. So there's still a sense of progression whether you win or lose, which that's what also makes you play the game, right? Because you didn't completely gain nothing, right? Unless you play as a scav, you get domed right off the bat with the first 10 seconds in that case. Whoops. Which probably has happened. I remember I spawned one time as a scav and it was a PMC shooting me in the stomach. Literally as the game loaded in the first 3 seconds. And then I killed the PMC, and I was like, what the fuck? I checked my stomach, I was bleeding, and had to bandage myself. I was like, bro, I just got here, almost got spawn killed. So that's another thing that's not perfect, right? The spawning and personally, me, I would like a set amount of people inside of the map, and that includes scavs. Like I don't feel like, from what I heard, scavs spawn every 10 minutes or something like that. I don't know if that's true, but I don't like that. Now that that would favor players who play like COD, right? Like they're out in the open shooting shit, and because the more scavs, the more loot, and also the more experience. But like people like me and people who play the game, ratting as you guys say, like I want to. There's a certain safety that you kind of feel when you're like, okay, everyone's pretty much dead on them. It's been 15 minutes. I've been hearing nonstop gunfire the last 7. Now the last 5, it's been quiet. So chances are everyone's dead, or mostly everyone. If I'm a scav, most likely my scav brothers have killed the PMCs. If I'm a PMC, most likely the scavs are all dead, or just in a different side of the map. The ones that I'm near are dead, which is great. That means I can freely loot. So maybe safety is not what you want to feel in Tarkov, but it would be nice to know that there's just a set number of people. Once all of those people are either gone or dead, that's it. There is no more coming in, no more spawning in, no more coming out. Well, coming out, yeah, but not spawning in. That'll be me. Maybe I'm in the minority there. I'm not sure. I never looked this up. But music is phenomenal. The music has been stuck in my head the last few days. I'm at work and I'm thinking about this game like I can't wait to go home. Every time me and a friend, I know for a fact she's into it because she'll tell me like, "Hey, we're gonna play Ghost Recon Wildlands tonight. Usually around midnight." But then we're both sitting at the computer around like 11, 11:30, and she's like, "Let's play Tarkov," and I'm like, "Yes." So we play like about 2 sessions, maybe in a factory, something quick, and then we jump on Wildlands, which it's been great. I like my little routine that we have. But we're almost done. Today is literally the last slice of the map. We finished every single map, killed every single like drug lord, and liberated every single little area. We just got one little area, and we already started hitting it yesterday. So by today, we should be done the game like 100%. So we're thinking about Dying Light 2 next. We were thinking about Ready or Not, but I don't think my group has that much coordination in them. And we're probably going to be very frustrated killing innocent people. So it boiled down to Breakpoint, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, or Dying Light 2. And we just played over 2 months of Wildlands. So we're going to take a break on the Ghost Recon series and probably jump in. Oh, and also the Division 1. We played the Division 2 and really liked it, but we never played 1. The better one that everyone keeps telling me. But Division 1 was also an option, but we ended up just going with, well, we're going to go, or at least I'm going to heavily suggest that we go with Dying Light 2. So, but anyways, back to Tarkov, like the music, the graphics all check out. The gameplay, there's something addicting about it. It's you see it at lots of other games that I've mentioned earlier. Like they try to replicate this formula, and some do good. Like Gray Zone. It's a shame that like there's so much potential there, but that game runs like straight hot dog shit. And I haven't played it in a while. Maybe it's gotten better, but like I remember when it first came out, it was terrible. The performance was like inexcusable, man. But I had patience. Everybody was flocking to the server, so I understand. But then I played it a few months later, I believe, or at least a few weeks later, when the heat died down and the performance was still dog shit. So, it's bad when like the developers are releasing the PC specs, reminding people, make it a point. They're emphasizing like, make sure your PC has this, 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 and this. And it's like, dude, how much can you blame it on your consumers? You know what I mean? Like I'm like, yeah, all right, fine. Some of us do have PCs that think they're the shit, but in reality they're potatoes. These are very unaware people and they think they don't know why they can't run AAA titles on a potato, until someone explains to them like, hey, your fucking GPU is 10 years old. You know what I mean? Like, of course, you'd be lucky if it runs Tetris. So Yeah, it's a shame because like I think Gray Zone Warfare graphically and gameplay wise was the closest to Tarkov from what I've seen, from what I've played at least. And you know, I do feel like they fumbled. All the hype is pretty much gone. I hear nothing about Gray Zone Warfare, but I still have faith in them, and I would like to see what they have in the future. I've been seeing the updates have been pretty slow. Not a lot. Patches have probably been coming in. They've probably been, you know, kind of ironing out all the kinks, which is great. But like, I feel like at this point, you know, they just released night ops. They just released nighttime or something like that. I didn't know. I think maybe there were. I don't know if it's weather changes or anything like that, but there is a nighttime thing coming or night operations, and I'm like, I thought they had that already. They didn't apparently. It's gonna be a long time before I jump into that game, but I am letting it cook. It's a very slow cook, but whatever. But you know, guns. Some of the guns are actually real in Tarkov, right? Like I seen a Six Sauer. Maybe it's spelled differently, or maybe they got the license for that particular brand. But I thought that was pretty cool that you know there exist actual brands in Tarkov. But yeah, I see myself playing this for a while. You know, I'm looking for a forever game. Like, of course, not literally forever, but I have friends that constantly play and have been playing the same titles for years. And these are mostly session-based games like Dota. I know someone who plays Dota all the time. I got a friend who plays Fallout 4. Not It's not a session-based game, but he has played that for almost 3,000 hours. It's like 2,500 hours or something like that. Some ridiculous amount where I was like, God damn. And what else? Someone else. Oh, another friend that plays Team Fortress 2. That's like his thing. Like almost every night I see him play Team Fortress, and he's been doing this for years. And apparently he's been doing it way before I even met him. So I'm looking for a game like that where I can play and be like, you know, I want to play this. No matter what I'm playing now, I can always jump in and play this. I feel like Tarkov is that perfect game because it's session based. You play a few sessions and then you go, all right, cool, go do something else, or you can just sit in front of your computer and play sessions all day long. Me, I break it up. You know, I'll play for a bit, which I'm most likely gonna do right after this right here, and you know, go play something. I'm in the middle of Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, the original one. Can't wait for the new one. That's probably another game that I'm gonna drop like over $60 on. Usually I don't buy games when they first come out. I wait till they're on sale, like 6 months down the line or something. Jesus, this man's lawnmower noises are intensifying. Sorry if you hear that, but I think he put it on turbo or some shit. But yeah, I do want to see uh not only where Gray Zone Warfare is going, but also wait, I already finished talking about Gray Zone Warfare. I lost my train of thought. Goddamn lawnmower. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is all in all, in a nutshell, I have not played Tarkov enough to genuinely say or give you a full blown opinion because I've only played like three maps. I played Woods, Factory, and Ground Zero. That's the only three. And there's so much to do, you know, and there's so much like this is a game that it's a slow burn. It's not gonna take me just a couple of months to get the hang of. I feel like this is a game that like you need some serious time in. And I'm willing to put that time. I would love for this to be my forever game. There you go. That's what I was talking about. You know, just a game that I never delete. It's always there. And no matter how many games or what other games I play, it would always be there on my computer, ready to play. And I hope it is because I'm willing for it to be. It's fucking great. So far, I'm having a long time. I mean, a long time. I have a long time. That wasn't racist. So far, I'm having a great time, and I do want to play this game for a long time, and I do see myself playing this for a long time. I don't know. We'll see. I said I had a lot to talk about, and I think I pretty much covered all the main things that I needed. I'm excited to see the new AI implementation, especially for someone like me who loves PvE. I'm excited for just the new shit they add, you know, weapons and loot, and they added a new boss recently, Partisan, I think his name is. Somebody online called him Parmesan because he's cheesy. I thought that was clever. I've encountered like one boss, and like I think it's like Tagilla one time. Tagilla? Tagilla? I don't know his name, but like he killed me every single time. Some motherfucker pops out of nowhere. At least it seems so. Yeah, it is unique. Very, very similar in Arma. It's probably the closest game that I can think of when it comes to Arma in the sense of like realism that just does not. It takes just a few bullets to kill you, and I like that. I do, but I also want it to be kind of fair. Now you can argue that it is not fair. Arma's not fair because sometimes if you are outnumbered, you're gonna die. You're not some Rambo. You're not some super soldier. I get it. I understand. But like I said earlier, one of the things that bugs me the most is like the main way you can tell, at least for me, a new player, that if I'm a PMC, if I'm playing as a PMC and I'm hunting down scabs, the only way that I can tell is a scab is usually by their clothing. But if a scab kills a PMC and then wears PMC's clothing, I'm thinking like, oh, that's a PMC. That's a USEC like I am. I'm not. And the next thing you know is they gun me down, or they'll say something in Russian which I don't understand, and they'll gun me down, and I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like that's so unfair. How was I supposed to know that? And how does he know that I'm not also a scav and whatever, man? It's there's some things, some imperfections, but I'm willing to look over it because the game's so awesome. Definitely play this if you haven't. If you enjoy hard, difficult games, this is not a game for everyone. So if you're someone who likes more casual, stress-free games, Tarkov is literally the opposite of what you should be playing. But if you're someone who wants some challenge and you're ready for that slow burn, like exercise, you don't see results right off the bat. It's a slow gratification type of game. Get this. See you guys next time. Sorry if this one was a little low and a little weird. Like I said, I've been dealing with some issues, residential issues. I don't want to say too loud, but I'll uh, I'll put a little more enthusiasm and quality into the next one. Sorry if this one wasn't so great, but see you guys later.